more. Want to bring in Amy Lessinger, president of RE/MAX. Good morning to you. What do you think?
Good morning.
How are you? What is this really going to do starting tomorrow?
Listen, as you just heard, there's a couple of changes. First of all, offers of compensation are still allowed. They just aren't going to be communicated via the MLS. And then, of course, a written buyer representation agreement will be signed between the buyer and the agent prior to showing property. You know, what's interesting about this is the fact that, buyer agency has been around since the 90s in the U.S., and 20 of the 50 states, these written buyer agreements, they've all already been required. However, in the other 30, the agreements have been widely used. They just weren't required. So
Amy,
I think this, yeah, go ahead.
What's the unintended consequence of this that we're not thinking about?
I think that actually this shines a light on why being represented by a professional and trusted agent is important for both buyers and sellers. Making sure that your interests are represented in the transaction and that you have a transparent conversation about compensation is critical.
Diana?
And Amy, I'm just curious, there's been a lot of talk about the first-time buyer who really relies on an agent because they may not understand the process of buying a home, appraisals and assessments, contingencies, all those things. If the buyer can't afford to pay for their own agent and they choose not to, is that going to be, a problem for first-time buyers coming in?
I think that's where a professional agent can step in and help a buyer navigate. As we know, commissions are always negotiable. And what was possible pre-settlement is still possible post-settlement. But I do think that buyers need to rely on professional expertise so that they can walk through that process and understand what does happen and what is the buyer's directive if a seller is not offering compensation.
So can I go to the broker and say I'll pay you 2%?
Commissions are negotiable and always have been.
And the broker can decide not to take my business if I'm offering too little.
Agents provide a very valuable service, and they deserve to be compensated. It is up to them to articulate their value, determine what they charge for their services, and of course, it's up to the seller and or the buyer as to whether or not they want to pay their commission.
Amy, how long am I locked in to a particular agent or broker, if you will? Meaning, I sign up with you. I say, we're going to go look for properties. We look for a bunch of properties. I don't decide I want said properties, or I don't want them at those prices. I don't know, 6 months pass, something else happens in my life. I then want to actually go back and, all of a sudden one of the properties is lower. Can I go back without that agent? Am I locked in for 2 years? What's going on here?
Ultimately, buyers need to ask these questions, and a quality agent will explain timeline, what the terms and the scope of the agreement are in order to help a buyer make that best decision about how long the agreement should be, what the scope of services are, and the compensation that's being offered.
Amy, do you buy this argument that it will actually lower home prices because if the seller doesn't have to pay for the buyer agent commission, that they might take that off the home price?
Great question. Look, the price of property is determined by supply and demand. And foundationally, there are benefits to a seller for having a represented party on the other side. Just like for buyers, it's important for sellers that they hire a trusted professional who can walk them through what are the advantages of having someone represented on the other side, helping them navigate the complexities of the transaction, making sure their interests are being represented, and it can really smooth a transaction over. I've been an agent and a broker for almost 30 years. I recently moved and relocated. I hired a professional agent because that local expertise, that knowledge is incredibly important.
But will the prices come down, Amy, if you're no longer paying 2.5%? If you're the seller and you're not paying 2.5% to the buyer's agent anymore because that's being picked up by the buyer, does that price, where does that money go?
I think the prices are negotiable, as are commissions between buyers and sellers. Market price is determined by supply and demand, what a buyer is willing to pay and what a seller is willing to accept.
Amy, I did a story in my first job out of college for the Sarasota Herald-Tribune when I was a real estate reporter. Should you hire a buyer's agent? And there was a lot of reasons for people to do that, especially in the crazy real estate market that was Florida back in the late 80s. So I think that's some good advice anyway.
I agree. Being represented by a trusted professional is critically important, and they can walk buyers and sellers through these changes, what they mean, and how their interests are represented in the transaction.